how's it going?
It's going great. Having a good day so far. Good week. Looking forward to our conversation and our future seminar together.
So for my viewers anyway, can you introduce yourself, where you're at, your training center, your style, and all that?
Definitely. So my name is Chip Quimby. I am a Uechi instructor here in West Peabody, Mass. I run Authentic Karate Training Center, and we're kind of a boutique dojo. That's all we teach is Okinawan karate, and we try to specialize in all the facets of it, from kata, bunkai, application, body conditioning, impact training, Sanchin training, athletic conditioning. So all the facets of kind of deep, specific training.
Yeah, and you have a beautiful dojo too, man. That looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an inspiring place to train at, and people give it their all when they're here. It makes a really special environment.
Yeah. Now you just came back from Okinawa. You were training over with the Uechi masters in Okinawa?
I participated in an event they had. So the Okinawan prefectural government sponsored the first International Okinawan Karate Tournament, and I was there for 2 weeks. The event itself took place over a 1 week period. They had a tournament which was all Okinawan styles, and they broke them down by Ruha. So there was a Uechi division, Nahate division, Shorin division, so to speak. And what made it special is that each division was judged by the elders in that system. So you were kind of being evaluated by people who really knew your style and understood all the nuances. So that was pretty special. And then at the tail end of the tournament, they had a series of seminars. So each of the elders in each of the prominent styles conducted seminars, which were open to people from both the style itself and any other style. So I had a chance to meet a lot of people that I've followed for a long time, but just hadn't had the opportunity to train with. So that was really special as well.
Nice. And for those of you that don't know me, if Master Quimby sends this out to his people too, I'm Evan Pantazi. I was first introduced to Uechi Ryu in 1996. Hasn't been a long period of time. I developed a Kyusho breakdown of the three main kata of Sanchin, Seisan, and Sensei Ryu with Kyusho involved. And Kyusho just means vital targets, being vascular, nerve, organ, and how to get to them utilizing the Uechi system. And I've been with it ever since, and I got a Shihan ship from Hanshi George Mattson back in the late 90s, and I've been working on it ever since on a daily basis. So I'm in love with the art, and I think it really depicts the true essence of the Bubishi. The ancient manual, for people that don't know, it's an ancient martial art manual that is pretty obscure and hard to read and put together. You have a good history. But there's the pictures and the targets, the Kyusho targets that are involved in there, and things about delayed death touch and all these fictitious sounding or mythical sounding components that are actually real. And the Uechi system has all the 6G hands of the Shaolin that are involved in their kata, and that's why I find it so brilliant. It's more authentic than many of the karate styles that I see today, with roots back to the Shaolin as opposed to more or less changed for sport in the early 1900s by an Okinawan contingent of masters. So that's sorry, a long introduction, I guess.
Not at all. That was great.
Oh, good. Yeah. So we're planning on doing a seminar together, and we're going to be working it in Salem, Mass, and I'll have all the information below. It's a beautiful hotel. Great area. It's right on Pickering Wharf, where you have the harbor, and you have over 200 restaurants in the neighborhood. So just a great place to spend some time. So we're going to do that at the end of January. I believe the date is January 27th. It's a Sunday, and we'll be starting at 10 o'clock and running for approximately 6 hours. So we'll have more information for you, and I'll be placing that link below too. So, what did you want to accomplish with your style and doing this joint seminar together?
So, I'd like to bring a comprehensive analysis of Sanchin kata from soup to nuts. So, start with an understanding of the idea behind training in Sanchin kata and why it's been so well respected throughout the generations. Look at body structure, posture, build it from the ground up, the stance that helps cultivate the energy that will allow the body to be strong and ultimately deliver the power through the various strikes. So Sanchin, at least through the Uechi lineage, is taught as like a foundational exercise. It could be analogous to going to the gym and getting a full body workout. So when I teach Sanchin here in the dojo, each student is really working on strengthening their body, working on proper breathing, mindset. They're working on tendon development. They're working on muscular development. And I'd like to bring students through a logical, step-by-step process so they can understand how to create the stances, how to hold their arms, how to practice Sanchin maybe at level 1 and then level 2 and then level 3. Sometimes people get introduced to Sanchin and there's so much information it becomes overwhelming, clearly, because it's hard to do all these things at the same time, but I'd like to share with them recommendations on how to start practicing and then which steps to integrate and layer over time as they become more comfortable. But Sanchin is something that I'm a huge fan of. I'm a big believer. I also think it's easy to mispractice Sanchin and believe that you're practicing in a way to get many of the benefits, but actually not receive those benefits. And I think I mentioned to you, Sifu, that you can go to the gym and train and then walk home or come home and be under the impression that you're going to be stronger next time you're at the gym or in better shape. But if that's not done properly, it's not the case. And I think, especially here in the States, Sanchin can be misunderstood if not practiced in a really sincere way. So
yeah, I think all over the world really. And the Uechi version of the Sanchin, for those people that don't know, is an open-handed version. And with very little change from what's typically shown in dojos, the 6G hands are all in that form. And it's amazing. And I'm interested because what you were mentioning about the tendons and the body strength, the muscular strength, as we get older, our bodies tend to slow down or get more frail. With the practice of Sanchin, it fortifies the body from the bone marrow outward. And I've done a lot of medical research on this and tied it in with different things with physiology and functionality. And the very essence of the Sanchin that you're discussing, it strengthens us from the bones out. And as we weaken, we get very frail bones. And we get, of course, weaker muscles, and we lose our balance, and our joints aren't as strong. The Sanchin puts that all together in a holistic pattern that's easy to accomplish in a minute a day. And if done properly, that's a full exercise program right there. So you have all the health aspects of it. You build your body strong. You maintain your body's strength from deteriorating faster as we age. You can do it in your living room. Okay, although you should learn it from a qualified instructor first, because as Master Quimby was saying, you can really injure yourself if you don't have the concepts down and you try to do something a little different, because you're putting your body in a posture and trying to develop strength from that posture. So one more thing, and I'll ask you another question. I found interesting correlations. You were mentioning the energy. Interesting correlations with the Indianic yoga. When I worked with it, I worked on it more of an energy development as well as an iron shirt program, and I found that it releases the Kundalini if done properly, as you mentioned. Okay, it channels that energy, and it really opens your eyes to so many different facets of life, not just the martial arts. As a matter of fact, we're not going to really run this so much as a martial seminar, but more of a health, wellness, and protection type of seminar.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's funny because there seems to be two primary branches that I've seen in Okinawa. There's a younger generation that's into a lot of the iron shirt, big demonstration, highly percussive visuals or method of training. And then there's another which is very soft into touching and just identifying pressure. And fortunately, my teacher's been an advocate of both. And it's amazing to see how strong one can become without hitting at all, but just learning to negotiate pressure put on the body in different ways through harnessing strength in the stance and in the posture. It's really interesting. It often gets quite well known online because you see famous Okinawan masters really striking hard or breaking objects over their students, and that's really impressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But so many of these benefits can be achieved without any of that. Just a finger on your partner helping to awaken certain areas and ensure they're or they're connecting those areas or aware. So I find that really interesting.
Yeah. The Sanchin to me, I studied a lot of different arts because I've been professional for over 40 years. So of course, you stick to your main art, but you would venture out and do the mixed martial arts is so prominent today, but people have been doing mixed martial arts for generations now. And going out and seeing different things from Tai Chi and Bagua all the way up to the hard Uechi and Goju systems. And just taking what you could and putting it into your own art and your own way of doing things. And even though you're true to your system, you can still gain so much from other systems and other methods. And the Sanchin, I think, is a complete system. And as the old masters used to say, all is in Sanchin. Okay, and they always also used to say, you dig a very small hole, but you dig it very deep. So by studying this one kata, and from my standpoint, the one kata, that's all you need for self-protection, be it from nature or be it from a predator. Yeah. So the Sanchin being the bedrock, is that the first kata you guys work with?
It's typically the first kata that's taught in the traditional Uechi curriculum. I don't think it's a kata per se. It's different in that it's as important for nurturing strength and mindset and attitude as it is for developing mechanics and whatnot. Where some of the other kata, you could say, have specific self-defense tactics and concepts in them. Sanchin's more about laying that foundation and understanding why this is going to be so valuable as you apply it to other tactics and strategies in the system. So it's quickly learned because it's not a complex set of movements, but the more you understand it, the more profound it becomes. And it's just a question of, do you value the benefits and that you're interested in making the investment in yourself?
Yeah. And you'll be teaching that at the seminar so people can pick it up, learn it, and then practice it at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And folks, it's a beautiful little kata. Again, its simplicity or its seeming simplicity belies its true depth. It's incredible. You could even tie the posture back into the DNA, the helix of the DNA, if you want to take it that far, which I personally like to do with medical and scientific studies. But just as a good exercise program, a good energy development program, and an excellent protection program. A very direct little kata. And as a Kyusho practitioner, what we're going to be working on also is the direct protection of self using the vital targets and the tools that are developed in the kata. So it gives people a round idea of what's going on. So now we were talking the other day about neck strikes and everything like that in the Uechi system. A question for you. The old Okinawan masters, you've gone back several times, I believe, right?
Yes.
Do they ever talk about Kyusho? Do they ever discuss it?
So when I'm in Okinawa, I primarily train with Nakahodo Sensei, who's among one of the most venerated elders in the system. His father taught some Kyusho to him, and he often makes reference to Kyusho targets throughout kata. And he enjoys sharing some of these with students that practice with him. However, on numerous occasions, I've tried to understand, how did this get lost, or at what point did this no longer become critical information that needed to be shared? Because people are often told that you're striking to specific points, but there isn't really a go-to resource that any student can pursue to better understand this. So I guess the shorter answer is I'm always the recipient of many strikes going to lots of different targets, which is great, but it's not actively taught, which I find very curious.
Right.
A little disappointing, too, because it's like you're learning just half the system. I mean, Uechi's taken on a very strong or powerful or percussive character over the last, I'd say, 50 years, where most things are based on strength. But as you know, it's not always necessary. But if you don't understand how to do it, you often just revert back to blunt trauma and hitting as hard as you can, which obviously works, but it might be too much in our day and age, and you find yourself living in an 8x8 box for the rest of your life. So
yeah. Well, that's another beauty of the Kyusho. Co-joined with the Uechi, you have the ability to use the strength, but again, you don't have to, because the Kyusho gives you the ability to use far less strength, and which is great, because let's face it, even if you're a long-time Uechi practitioner, as you age, you're going to get weaker than you are now. And we have to think, I think now, of our future. We shouldn't be thinking about our now. We shouldn't think about our past. We should be thinking about our future. Where is this art going to take me? Am I going to be able to accomplish this when I'm 70, 80, 90 years old? Because I know the lifespans by the time I get up to it's in the 80s now. Mid-80s, I think, is the typical lifespan. By the time I get up to my mid-80s, I'm hoping, that the lifespan's in the mid-90s, or the average lifespan is. So we have to think, what can we still accomplish, or what will we be able to accomplish when we're at that age? And I think with the blending of a good, solid foundation where we're strengthening our body via the Sanchin in the correct manner, understanding our internal physiology and functionality, as well as how to protect it against people malintents, shall we say, and into our older age. I think that's the perfect recipe. Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So we might do another discussion in the future to talk more about how we're going to lay out the seminar, but the gist of it is we're going to work with the kata. We're going to work with how it can make your personal health much better and your body stronger. And then we're also going to work with protecting your body from those malintents.
Sounds like a pretty well-rounded approach to Sanchin training.
I'm looking forward to it. Ari booked the room. We're all set. We're down on the schedule, so we're good to go.
Exciting.
Okay. And folks, I'm going to be putting the links to the page. The page isn't fully developed right now. I wanted to have this discussion with Master Quimby and also get a direction. And we've already pretty much decided on the direction, but I wanted to hash it out with Master Quimby here for you to hear, so you can understand how the seminar is going to go and if it's something that actually interests you. So, hey, thanks again. Great seeing you again.
Thank you, sir. Have a safe trip, and I look forward to touching base again soon.
All right. Be good.
Thank you.